This is the Surly Grognards for December 12th, 2016. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
Doing all right.
Excellent. So, this week we got an email from a viewer. His handle's the Bob. And he writes, since you and Eric
I
seem to
don't
have
believe it.
plenty of experience with Games Workshop, have you considered doing a Surly Grognards episode about the recent staggering changes happening at the company? Start collecting boxes. Aside, they have been releasing self-aware. Aside from the collecting the boxes and such, the new box sets they've been releasing. They've been releasing self-aware videos on their YouTube channel. He links a couple of them. And it seems from an outsider's point of view, they're trying to be much more customer friendly, going as far as announcing the return of all the old specialist games and releasing really well-made painting tutorials on their channel. As self-proclaimed grognards who don't currently seem to play 40k, are these changes meaningful in any way? Would you consider starting up 40k again when the rumored 8th edition comes out, or is this all way too little too late for you guys? Would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so,
Okay, first thing, I don't believe we have viewers. So,
we have some. We have some. But at any rate, yeah, I mean, neither Eric or I play 40k currently, or Fantasy Battle, or any of GW's major products. Our friend,
Fantasy Battle, that thing they blew up, and I still haven't forgiven them for.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Eric. Our friend Gav does play. Uh, Gav is still into 40k and is dabbling in Age of Sigmar. Um, and so he tells us about it. This is how I've found out most about the stuff that's been going on with GWs through Gav and a little bit through Eric. Because I'll be honest, I really haven't paid much attention to the Games Workshop since I stopped playing Fantasy Battle after sixth edition.
I tend to poke my nose in at GW every once
Mm-hmm.
in a while because they really, I enjoy tabletop wargaming,
Mm-hmm.
and um, Warmer Hordes is my game, and I don't get to play nearly enough of it, honestly.
Right.
Um, it's nice to see what the rest of the industry is doing, and
Sure.
GW, for all of its many many cubed faults, is still the industry leader, and they're the one, and not just in like sales, but also like particularly in production of miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Those little like toy men you push across the table and make stab each other, or shoot each other, or stuff one another on one another's mounts. Whatever army you're playing.
Right. Yeah.
So poking in on what they're doing is just a good way to get a feel for how things that aren't War Machine are doing.
It makes sense. Yeah, I've not really been playing a lot of tabletop war games recently. Partially because it's just inconvenient. Given where I live, it's a little inconvenient for me to get to a nearby place to play. Honestly. Um,
Yeah, no, it's a lot easier for me, but they tend to do it on nights that I don't have available, and I'm old. And I don't want to go out and be out till like 1 a.m. playing rolling dice at people that I'm not getting drunk with at the moment. So
yeah. I mean, I've adored tabletop games for I've been playing tabletop wargaming for
endured.
I've been playing them for God. I sort of didn't really get into tabletop wargaming until high school.
Mm.
Uh, and not really not until late high school, but that's sort of roughly when I started playing BattleTech. I mean, I discovered BattleTech
Mm.
before then, but didn't really start playing until high school. And that's when I started playing BattleTech, and I started playing Starfleet Battles then also. So I think part of it is for me the difference between our sort of take on it is I got into it more through the hex and counter based games than you did.
Mm.
So
Well, I absolutely started out on Warhammer Fantasy,
hmm
which was largely just I'd been buying these little these little miniatures and painting them, and just late middle school,
Right.
and suddenly, holy crap, there's a game around these. Why
Yep.
didn't anyone tell me?
Yeah, I got into. I mean, the first GW game I played, I think, was Necromunda. Actually,
Mm,
I'd been buying a few fantasy battle figs, but I was buying them almost entirely to use them as figures for my D&D games that I was
mm.
running. So I started buying orcs for that specifically because I liked the GW orc models. They were neat. They were cool. I liked them a lot.
Yeah,
Unsurprisingly.
I will say this: GW really defined what an orc looks like for a lot of the gaming world.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I mean, that's the first thing I think of when I think of an orc is the GW orc.
visually, I agree with you actually. 'Cause I never really had a like when I think of how orcs behave. I think my initial instinct actually is more Tolkien than GW. I mean, GW's orcs are somewhat influenced by Tolkien's because everybody was influenced by Tolkien.
Everyone's influenced by Tolkien, right?
But visually, I don't think of Tolkien's orcs. I think of GW's first.
Mm. Yeah, if I think if I think of an orc or a goblin, that's my go-to reference.
Yeah, I don't
Is GW.
like. I don't even think of the original D&D orcs. You know, the pig snouted, guys. I think
Yeah,
the GW's greenskins first.
yeah, yeah. Same here. Like the pig-snouted orcs from D&D were probably my first encounter with
Yep.
orcs because there was that that original friggin' like monstrous manual with the red dragon on the cover that was in the school library for some reason.
That's kind
None
of
of the rest
awesome.
of the D&D books were in there, but that was there, and I would always pull it out and borrow it. And yeah, I remember the pig-snouted orcs in there, and I was like, orcs are dumb. They look like pig samurai, and that's dumb because that's what the illustration was. And I
Honestly,
was 12.
I have to say, Pig Samurai sounds kind of awesome now.
Well, yes, I was 12 at the time. I liked things that were dumb. I liked elves when I was 12. I mean, that
I still kind of like elves, but yeah. But at any rate, more on topic. So GW has been releasing a lot more sort of. They've gone back to releasing box sets of units that are not hideously overpriced,
yeah,
and like releasing like boxes that give you sort of a core of an actual solid, a core of an army. Which, for while they're expensive, because there's no way GW's collecting a GW army is going to be expensive. It's just
yeah. There's no way around that. I mean, miniature wargaming in general is expensive.
it
But
is.
GW's always been stupendously expensive.
They used to be much more. They used to be much more reasonable. The price of their stuff's
Yeah,
as the price of their figs for a long while did leap ahead of inflation pretty badly. Uh,
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, way back when they were starting out, when I picked up most of my Skaven army, they were eminently reasonable and comparable with Grenadier and Ralpatha at the time,
yeah,
but cooler looking because they had rat monsters.
and they had some of
uh,
the better sculptors out there too.
they really did. They really had some of the best sculptors out there, and we're not afraid to try dynamic, weird-looking poses that might have failed miserably, but they tried.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a nice reversion to the way they used to do things.
Mm,
Oh, that's still not back to the days when you could get 3 rhinos for like in a box set for like what was it, 15-20 bucks,
like $12. Yeah,
something like that. Uh, and so that's a big change, honestly, is the fact that they're actually releasing. They've gone back to releasing units and box sets of units
yeah. We're
and
not
army
spending
box,
$70 on fucking squad of Terminators.
which is nice.
Mm.
Uh, and their
It's
individual
only a mild
character figs are
exaggeration for
their
those listening.
individual yeah their individual character figs are hideously expensive, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's
they're
kind of par for the course for the industry, though.
yeah it is, it definitely is.
Look at Privateer or the Avatars of War. Their leader models are all really expensive, and that's largely because their sculptors and tech go all out for them.
Right, exactly. No, I totally get why that is. Uh, and they seem to have rediscovered their sense of humor about themselves somewhere along the way.
Yeah, they had their heads squared, like shoved firmly up their asses for a very long time. Like Yeah, I haven't seen GW be this approachable since late third edition 40k.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, third edition 40k, sixth
Um,
edition fantasy battle.
yeah,
Um,
like including like being this friendly to new gamers, like with these start collecting boxes and whatnot.
right.
And that was back when, honestly, back in late third editions when they were getting their asses kicked in the market by cheap knockoff miniature companies.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't really producing much in the way of games, at least nothing that compared to them. But there are a lot of totally not Games Workshop works out there, just undercutting them left and right.
And yeah, the numbers of undead models you could get from other companies that were way
Yep.
cheaper and not too much worse looking. I have no idea what about that whatsoever. It's not that like I don't think half my undead army is Reaper.
Yeah, no shit.
Uh, um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely the competition. Like they've had a lot of competition recently. I mean, Gav was telling us, at least in the UK, X-wing is outselling GW right now, and it's basically the game lines that are in terms of miniatures tabletop gaming right now in the UK at least is X-wing 1, 40k 2, and X-wing Armada 3 or Star
Yeah.
Wars Armada 3.
Yeah, I've seen similar stuff. Yeah, it was X-wing 40k, Armada. War Machine and Hordes are interchangeable, and some people list them separately. Some people just list
Right.
them as one. Followed by I think it was Infinity,
Sounds about
which
right.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything
I
about.
don't
It's
either.
just that's really popular.
So yeah, I mean,
And yeah, and yeah,
GW.
GW's been getting their asses kicked in the market, which means they're suddenly forced to pull their heads out of their asses again.
Yeah, it's competition is a good thing.
And
Honestly.
part of it is GW really shot themselves in the neck with blowing up the old world in Age of
Oh
Sigmar.
my God, yes.
Like,
And
there's such tremendous blowback to the point where it's affected 40k. Like,
yep.
people were pissed. A lot of people still are.
Yeah, and like Gav was telling us again that apparently GW has decided to keep the old models in production and just fold them into their current new armies, which is something at least.
Yeah, well, that part of that is because Total War Warhammer has been just a complete knockout hit,
Yeah,
and has really revitalized Warhammer Fantasy. Not not Age of Sigmar, but Warhammer Fantasy.
it's almost like it's a better setting for a war game, and it's one
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
used
weird,
to.
weird.
And yeah,
And
yeah,
there are like there are a bunch of fan made versions of Warhammer Fantasy out there. They're effectively ninth edition,
right.
and yeah, they're now in competition with their own history because of the idiocy that was Age of Sigmar.
God, that decision was just baffling to me. But at any rate, and they've
I
all
commend them for taking the risk.
sure. I can
Doesn't mean I don't hate them for it, but and the result of it. But I commend them for at least trying.
sure. Yeah. And they've been and the whole thing with the re-release of specials games. It's about fucking
Yes.
time.
Well, GW had always been poor stewards of their specialist games. They'll release them, they'll get maybe a year of support before they're shoved in the back corner, and like maybe they'll get around to selling off their back stock, but most of it will just rot in a warehouse because GW won't promote it anymore.
Yep.
I know a lot of retailers like just didn't bother with carrying specialist games because of that.
There was no real reason. I mean, you eventually, after a while, you get burned by the fact that you're not going to be able to you're not be able to restock on some of the stuff that you really want.
Yep.
That your customers really want, and that's so. Yeah, I think that's
Like,
definitely
I adore fucking Mordheim. There's still Mordheim miniatures out there that I want that are only available via like eBay or third-hand traders and whatnot,
yep.
and are outrageously expensive.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Like the friggin' like necromechanical rat ogre.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, that thing is just. Last I saw it was $70. It was like I could buy the new behemoth sculpt for that and actually be able to use it.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah, there's also, but I mean, they're also planning on releasing a new edition of Blood Bowl, which is
Which is out actually.
it's out now. Okay, cool, good for
Yes, I
them.
haven't bothered to pick it up because I'm a miser and I'm still leery about giving Games Workshop any money after the Age of Sigmar fiasco. But
Yeah, if I was not so badly, Blood Bowl is one of those games that I want to like more than I do. I love it conceptually. I enjoyed it for a while. There's just certain core aspects of Blood Bowl I've come to the conclusion I just don't like, and
I totally understand
I
that.
don't think they're ever going to fix them because they're just too core. They're just too core to the Blood Bowl
They're too
experience.
integral to the core, and Blood Bowl is very much the game that you play with. Like it's too expensive for a beer and pretzels game, especially when you have things like Cards Against Humanity out there. But that's basically GW's equivalent of it.
That's sort of one of my problems with a lot of GW's secondary games. They end up playing out very beer and pretzely, but you have to pay. You're basically paying full wargaming price for them.
Yes.
Like the original. Oh god, what was the name of the game? All of a sudden, the spaceship battle game. I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden.
Oh, not Battlefleet Gothic, the one
No,
before
no, no.
that.
Gothic was the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, Battlefleet
There
Gothic.
was one before that. With yeah, I think it got like I think I've only ever seen one model of it in person.
Right. Gothic was a thoroughly not bad game. It was very beer and pretzely,
Mm-hmm.
especially for someone like me who got into Starship Combat games through Starfleet battles. So my sort of level of sort of expectation for certain things in Starship Combat games expects a certain level of depth of play to them that
Mm.
Gothic does not have. And that's fine. Gothic, for what it is, especially if you're playing Imperials versus Chaos and nothing else.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the only place where Battlefleet Gothic holds up. And that's the thing. I liked the more stripped down version of Battlefleet Gothic because well, I don't mind some bookkeeping in my wargaming, like the Starfleet battles, for example. Like I get a migraine just thinking about it.
Well, there's a reason. I mean, I love Starfleet Battles in a lot of ways, but it's not a game that I've not played it in years, years and years. And part of that was because I got into Babylon 5 Wars, which is not as
Considerably more accessible.
it's more accessible. It's plays faster, which means that you can actually have fleets as opposed to Starfleet Battles does a really good job at doing a one-on-one ship battle, which is fine,
Yep.
and that's great. And you can do squadrons and fleets, but you better block out at least like for a squadron and squadron battle. That's going to eat most of your day, and a fleet
Mm.
battle's probably going to take the weekend.
Which is
And
yeah, no one's got time for that.
I'm not so much a grognard that I'm willing to do that anymore.
Mm.
Uh, and I like Starfleet Bab 5 Wars. You could get a fleet battle in like yeah, a good size fleet battle in like an afternoon. It'll take you more than a few hours, but that's fine. I can accept that. I can wrap my brain around
Yeah,
that.
I can accept spending an afternoon playing a war game. I mean, I played fourth edition. I played second edition 40k and fourth edition Warhammer Fantasy. It's pretty much what's to be expected.
Right. And that's where I got into both those games and those editions.
Mm.
So yeah, but yeah, so those and then I look at Gothic and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's simple, but but
Well,
given its price, the price point though for getting a fleet together, I I just can't.
yeah.
I can't invest in a game that it's just not a beer and pretzels game. Despite its rules, it's not a beer and pretzels game because it's that expensive.
I
Although,
regret investing as much as I did in Battlefield Gothic because I invested in the orcs because I was
oh,
all about
I'm
the orcs at
sorry.
the time.
I'm so sorry, Eric.
And oh my god, the balance of Battlefield Gothic is terrible. Like
Yep.
you expect at least the four factions in the main book to be balanced against one another.
And they're
But the
not.
Eldar are broken. Both the Eldar and Orcs are broken in opposite directions.
Yeah,
The Eldar were nigh unbeatable, just using the basic rules in the provided in the book, and you need a minor miracle or a complete tactical fuck up by your opponent to
win with the
or be
Orcs.
playing against Tyranids to play Orcs, because Tyranids pretty much played themselves.
Well,
You didn't have a lot of choice what to do with Tyranids.
no, and they weren't in the main book either. Yeah, I basically, the amount I spent in Battlefleet Gothic, because I bought the base set, and my friend Peter Shaw bought the base set also, and we traded I kept the Imperial ships, he kept the Chaos
The
ships.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I still got my ship somewhere in my apartment. I've got them in a box somewhere. I bought a couple of figs outside of that, outside of the boss set. I think I bought the Imperial battleship or dreadnought or whatever it was called,
Right.
and I bought some of the smaller ships in the boxes, and that was it. And I played it a few times. I had fun with it, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done with this game.
Yeah, no. My greatest victory was actually destroying an Eldar battleship by accident.
I remember that. I was there for that.
It was my only victory because my other opponent was Nurgle, whose ships can't be boarded.
Right, and that's about
the only thing Orcs are good at is boarding other ships.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the thing.
I won a game against Tyranids because Tyranids, weirdly enough, are not as good at boarding ships as Orcs are.
That just seems weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing is, that's the big problem for me with GW, is they're not, it's not so much they're bad at balancing, they just seem uninterested in balancing stuff.
They seem fundamentally uninterested. There was a real movement during 8th edition to produce more balanced books. 8th edition fantasy,
right?
I should say, the one right before they killed it. And I was starting to get back into fantasy again. I bought new models. I was playing my Skaven more often. I wasn't winning very often because going from War Machine to a GW game is difficult.
Yep.
Okay, now I charge with these guys, and I start my attack rolls. No, I'm not allowed to do that. Shit, I don't have to worry about unit activation order in this.
Well, you do, but not in the same way.
Not nearly in the same way. Which means I can't clear space for one thing to maneuver with another thing. That kind of shit.
Yep.
So there's a lot of wrapping my head around the different way the turns are structured.
Yep. But yeah, I mean
there's a real movement like it and I liked the hardcover books despite them being more expensive because that means they were tougher.
Yep.
I didn't have to baby the fuckers.
Yep. I totally agree with you on that one, actually.
And they blew it up and replaced it with Age of Shitmar, which I still haven't forgiven them about. You're gonna hear that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is they actually had a real focus on getting a balanced and logical play-tested game during third edition 40K, 6th edition Fantasy Battle also. And
the problem with 3rd edition 40K was they started out that way.
Yes.
And they had some really good early outings. The Orc Codex comes to mind.
Oh God, yeah.
As well as the first Smurf Codex, Space Marine Codex.
The Space Marine Codex. Yes, I will agree completely.
But
that was
quickly they fell off the cliff with that, with Blight Angels and Space Wolves and Dark Angels.
Oh my God!
Then fucking as awesome as the friggin' 3.5 Chaos Codex was for all the cool shit it had in it, it was busted all fuck off.
Yeah, and the same thing happened with Fantasy Battle. And the thing is, what they did for the initial release of both of those is they brought in people who were
actual tournament players,
right, and people who were big into game theory and understood how to balance stuff and were big into playtesting stuff, which is why you had Alessio, oh God, what's his last name, Salvatore, something like that, and Tuas Perinin.
It was very, very Spanish sounding.
Yeah, but those two, him and Tuas Perinin, working on Fantasy Battle for 3rd edition, for 6th edition, and I forget who the people they brought in for 40K were. But they hammered out these actually remarkably well balanced core games.
Yep.
And the fantasy that like the biggest thing for me that was I thought the biggest sign for fantasy football was going in the right direction was that you could play the dwarves and have a chance at winning against a magic heavy army in sixth edition for a while, for a
Yep.
long while,
Yep.
because for a long time dwarves were just like the dwarf balance was such that if your opponent didn't bring a lot of magic, you basically would crush them, but if they brought magic, you were fucked. And it changed to dwarves were just good. If they didn't bring a lot of magic, that meant they had spent stuff on stuff that
Like artillery.
artillery, so they could still hang with the
Terrifying
dwarves.
dwarven artillery.
Well, I'm talking about the
It's
like
funny because
non-dwarves.
the Skaven sixth edition book is at once the least and most balanced Skaven book ever released.
Yes.
It was the least balanced because it had ridiculously overpowered things like the fucking Rattling gun,
Yep.
which is a model I refused to buy despite how cool it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to do any of that shit, you needed so many fucking clan rats, which just worked out in my favor because to buy something you needed to buy a unit of clan rats. You couldn't have more of any unit than you had clan rats, units of clan rats, and which worked out for me because I had tons of fucking clan rats.
Right. No, but the Skaven army was great until people figured out the Skaven shooting army of death.
Yes.
Which was a bunch of rattling guns and a whole bunch of warlock engineers.
Yep.
With warp lightning, and you just would shoot the opponent. You would just between the rattling guns, you just winnow down your opponents before they could even get to you with that the rattling guns and the
and then you
warp
mop
lightning.
up with all the clan rat
Right.
units you bought.
Which is a shame because the rest of this game book was actually really well done.
Oh yeah, I loved what they did with rat ogres and giant rats. I loved what they did with slaves. It was the first time because that was the first edition where you couldn't shoot into close combat in fantasy, except for Skaven slaves.
Right.
And Skaven slaves that they broke, well,
who cares?
So much break and run away as explode and do damage to everything around them. Not a lot of damage. It was like piddling, like die 3, strength 3 hits. But it was something, and it made sense. It was because it was them scattering and clawing at whatever gotten too close to them.
Yep. But yeah, no. So at any rate, they and
Skaven slaves had a base leadership of 2.
Right. So, but irrelevant though, irrespective. I think that my problem is it would take a lot. So to answer the final question about whether we'd get back into it, I respect some of the changes GW is making with their company and how they're handling stuff. But it would take a lot to get me back into it. I mean, I don't think you could get me back into 40K just because I was always more into Fantasy Battle than I was 40K. It's just it just was more my thing stylistically. And
I rock that.
And it's from everything I've read about Age of Sigmar, it doesn't play the way Fantasy Battle did because it's
I wanted much more 40K with like swords and 40K has plenty of swords.
But it's a sort
of more 40K without vehicles.
It's a skirmish level sort of individual model, like round based models. It doesn't have the big ranked up units and such, which is one of the things I liked about Fantasy Battle, is that felt like armies engaging each other. And
yes, I agree entirely. Actually,
and the sort of the ponderous movement of the units and such is what I actually kind of liked about Fantasy Battle.
Yeah,
which meant that every maneuvering was so critical. And setting up flank attacks and all that stuff was what I liked about it, and that's gone from Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, and seeing a fantasy army arrayed, like even if it's only like a quarter painted, was an impressive sight.
Yep.
Like all those like ranked troops with like supported war machines and giant monsters and whatnot. That was always really cool, and one of the things I loved most about Fantasy Battle.
Yep.
Including like the degree to which maneuvering and flanking was important. I didn't get to do a lot of flanking. I played Skaven, but I sure as hell knew to protect against it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, my 2 armies were orcs and goblins and dwarves. So I mean, actually, I also played undead. So yeah, I actually had 4 armies in Fantasy Battle. My main one I
always wanted to build an orc and goblin army in Fantasy Battle and just never got around to it. Because particularly I can't remember the name of the sculptor, the guy that completely reworked the way 40k orcs looked, got his hands on fantasy, and then like, yes, I really like these much more bestial, like gorilla like orcs,
Mm?
and yeah, plus you still have hilarity like the Doom Diver catapult. How do you not love the Doom Diver catapult?
It's
Or fucking
hilarious.
squig hoppers.
Squig hoppers. Oh my god! But yeah, so Age of Sigmar just doesn't hit my buttons the way Fantasy Battle. Like if I'm gonna play a skirmish fantasy game, I have War Machine.
Yeah.
Uh, and honestly, I'm hard pressed to believe that GW will release a fantasy skirmish war game that is as well thought out tactically as War Machine is.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if that happened. I'd be shocked, honestly. Uh, and again, 40k, it's a fine game, but I doubt I'll buy back into it. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't have enough leisure time to play the war game I like and I'm currently investing in.
right.
For me to get back into 40k, it would require me to become independently wealthy and a man of leisure, and for 40k to, for honestly, for 40k to get shit together.
Yeah. No. Honestly, I can tell.
I want like real independent, uh, like confirmation that yes, these armies are balanced. Yes, the army you like, you are not friggin' like gutting yourself for bringing. I want to do orc speed freaks. That's what I have. That's what I adore. There are orcs on motorcycles and buggies. This is the best thing ever. It is Mad Max with orcs.
Right. And for me, like I'm looking at that, I'm like, yeah, I could get into that, but the other problem is like I'm just not convinced GW will get their act together in terms of balance and thought. Oh my god. And 84 different flavors of Space Marine with their own codices.
Yeah. Well, let's just collect. You know what would really make me put a lot of faith back into GW?
What?
If they just dropped the whole like multi-marine codex and just condensed it all into a single tome. It's like, here are the special rules for each chapter.
Well, that's the thing that I was.
Of course, that's what they did with friggin' 3.5 Chaos, and we know how that worked out.
But like the third edition Space Marine Codex with its like special rules for like these little optional things you could buy to tweak your personal chapter. Like that was, I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. They'll release a splat book that'll list the particular tweaks that each of the individual chapters has in one book. It'll be brilliant. That'll work. No, they're going to release a separate codex for each one with completely different special rules. Oh my fucking, why?
If they did something like that, and then they released a giant tome of fluff, because we all love fluff. Well, at least if you're playing 40k, you don't love fluff. There are better games for you, buddy.
Yeah.
For like the Ultramarines fluff book, the Crimson Fist fluff book, the Space Wolves fluff book, the two Tard Angels fluff book. I can't take them seriously, not anymore.
I've never been able to take the Blood Angels seriously. They've
always kind of liked the Blood Angels because they had this whole like refined, like they tried it really hard to be like this refined as aesthetic warriors. And then you had the Death Company there, just sort of chewing on bones and ramming their heads against walls.
See,
I like that dichotomy.
Like, I conceptually can understand the appeal of both the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels, because the Blood Angels, you've got the sort of aristocratic, vampiric good guys,
right?
And good guys in massive air quotes, because there are no good guys in 40k.
Because it's the Imperium of fucking mankind. I mean,
there are no good guys in 40k. Period. End of discussion. There aren't.
Sort of the Tau, the closest thing you're going to get.
Yeah. And the Dark Angels are even more ascetic monks than the rest of the Space Marines. They are the most ascetic monk-like of all the Space Marines, and I think that's kind of cool.
Down to the point that they wear robes over their power armor, which
right.
is pretty damn cool looking.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
But as we both said before in our previous podcasts, it's amazing that GW has managed to take genetically engineered, space monk warriors in power armor and made them boring.
Gyrojet machine guns.
And made them boring.
Yes.
How? Oh my God, how?
Well, a lot of it comes down to the fact they just kept hammering them home over and over again. And to be fair, with this new direction GW is going in, there's less of that.
Sure.
They're spending more time on some of the weirder, more esoteric stuff. Like, goddamn, like Gene Steeler cults are back. Like they've got their own codex and everything, and apparently it's really good.
Cool. Neat. Excellent.
And like some gorgeous, gorgeous friggin' Steeler hybrid models. Like, fuck yeah. Like, not gonna lie, that came close. But there's no chance I'll ever pick up Age of Sigmar.
Right. No,
it's just
fantasy is dead to me.
It's too raw and open, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be a big ugly scar when it does heal. And yeah, fuck you, you killed the old world, you jerks.
They lost me on fantasy entirely, and it's a shame because
I mean, if they were to bring back Warhammer Fantasy Battle with like ranked units and the resurrection of the old world, then
maybe,
you know what? Just on principle, I'd probably pick up the box. Just on principle.
Because yeah, that fantasy battle is basically dead to me, sadly, because it's dead.
Yeah.
And you know, I
have no interest in Age of Sigmar. I have no interest in freaking the Sigmarines.
No,
the Sigmarites, which are fantasy space marines.
They really are. They really are. And you know, 40K again. It was never really my big jam. I mean, I honestly, if I was to get into a tabletop miniatures sci-fi skirmish war game, I have friends of mine who play Drop Zone Commander. I'd probably get in on that.
Yeah. Apparently Warzone's back, and Warzone was always sort of an interesting.
I remember playing Warzone. I actually tried out Warzone. A guy who I think it was our guy we both knew, Shane, who hung out at Your Move Games. I remember playing him doing a couple of demos of Warzone and thinking it was actually kind of a neat game. But I was never going to actually invest in it. It was just like, okay, this is a neat game. But yeah, I got into. But like, honestly, I probably would. You know, I would probably get into Drop Zone Commander because again, I know I have friends of mine who play it, so it's like.
Right. If I were to get into. Yeah, I would have to see like some real, like the new face GW has put on, and the fact that they're actually listening to their players, and they released a fucking errata for 40K. Like, and not just an errata, like a giant fucking errata for free. That is pretty fucking awesome.
That's the first time they've done since 3rd edition.
Yes.
That I'm aware of.
And
they might have done it
taking a leap from Privateer, honestly, because Privateer's been constantly erratas and updates their shit.
Yep. But yeah, and you know, there is like, you know, it's like, and the only other sort of stylist, like the only other style of war game that I'd be interested in maybe would be, you know, Starship, because I'm a big Starship combat guy. It's my thing. Right. But like, again, they could re-release Battlefleet Gothic and like make the game a bit more crunchy and balanced. But again, I would probably go play Firestorm Armada instead.
You might be able to convince me to play X-Wing.
Yeah, X-Wing is, from what I've seen of X-Wing, it looks like it's a fine game. I'd be more interested in Star Wars Armada, but I probably would, again, Firestorm Armada would probably be the one I'd end up playing. Right. Again, because I know people will play it.
The reason I say X-Wing is because they're actually pretty nicely painted right out of the box.
Yep.
And I'm looking at my table right now, and I still have a fuck ton of fucking Khador and Pharaoh models to paint.
Totally.
Giant pile of fucking orcs and Skaven that I never painted.
And that's probably part of the reason I would consider Star Wars Armada. Again, I'm more about the big capital ships fighting each other than I'm about fighters.
Right.
It's just my thing. It may or may not have something to do with the fact that, you know, I grew up watching Star Blazers.
My biggest problem with Armada is that you've got Imperials and Rebs.
Yep, and that's kind of it. That's
kind of it. Dude, I want my Space Scum. I like Star Wars because of Space Scum. And they have a faction literally called Scum in X-Wing. So
yeah, well, if I was playing Armada, I would almost certainly play Imperials because
Star
what do you mean?
Destroyers are awesome.
Yes, it's like, wait, I get to have Star Destroyers? I'm kind.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick between Revs and Imperials, of course I go Imperials because fucking Star Destroyers.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do the Mon Cal Star Cruiser is another ship I do like. I have a soft spot for the Mon Cal Star Cruiser.
If you were to somehow force me to play Armada for and play the Rebs, there is absolutely no way that you would ever convince me not to repaint the entire Rebel fleet into a Zentradi one.
Oh, sure, absolutely. That would look really cool, actually.
Green and steel, like add extra like spines and aerials to everything.
That would look pretty fucking sweet, to be totally honest. But yeah, like honestly,
see if I can't find little like tiny like battle pods to be my fighters.
yeah, I the problem is again, I would like much like you. I would prefer a Starship Combat game with more than two real factions.
Yeah,
Uh,
it keeps balance easy.
no, that's true. The two faction thing does keep balance easy. I will acknowledge that completely. But like, I mean, that's part of the reason I loved playing, Babylon 5 Wars was the large number of different different faction fleets you could fly. Also, due to the fact that it was a hex and counter based game, wow, it was not that expensive to change factions.
Yeah, I absolutely see the intellectual and logical appeal of hex and counter.
Yep,
I don't want my little guys to push around.
I know, and that's one of the things I like. If you could get me a like. That's one of the things I loved about late Babylon 5 Wars. They started making models for their fleet
Yes.
action game, which was absolutely perfect for translating using their fleet action figs in on as counter substitutes for Babylon 5 Wars. And I have a small Narn fleet action Narn fleet, and a small I bought a few of the Earth Force ships too because I I love.
Yeah, it's funny when you were teaching me how to play B5 Wars. I was like, I'm gonna play the Narn. The Narn have awesome, kick-ass looking ships, and Jakar was one of my favorite characters. And yeah, I'm gonna play the Narn, and these aren't working the way I want them to. Let's look at these Earth ships. They are really ugly. They're kind of beautifully ugly. Oh my god, they just have guns. They solve all their problems with guns. This is my faction.
Yes, the Earth Force is all about slow, ponderous maneuvering and just hammering people with guns, getting into ranges and just keep hammering them with guns.
They're basically two ways I play tabletop war games. There is the fast lightning strike and the slow grind you to death army. And I do not have the in between.
Honestly, the Narn are actually Narn are one of the better sort of fast strike fleets in Bab 5 Wars, but
yeah, but they didn't have giant spinning cannon platforms.
no.
And yeah, something about the Narn just never clicked with me. They didn't strike me as maneuverable enough.
Which is amusing because they're one of the most maneuverable fleets in the game.
Yeah, but not maneuverable enough to do the kind of lightning strike and fade that I like to do in war games.
I didn't. We didn't get through enough of the Narn ships for you to get to those ships. I think.
Okay.
Because the Narn do have some of the better fast strike maneuver and fly in, hit, fly out, turn around, come back, do it again.
Mm.
Actually, you probably might have enjoyed the Pakmarov for that. They don't turn so good, but dear God, they're fast.
Those the squid faced
yes.
Carrion Eaters, right?
Yep.
Those were my favorite minor race in B5.
They're pretty cool.
They were really cool. They're like, hey guys, let's all just hang out and talk this out. And if anyone dies, we'll just stuff them under the table for later.
At any rate, so yeah. But that's sort of it. Like, yeah, I would say we both admire GW for what they're doing. And
honestly, I less admire them because it's
it's not admire.
To a I appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a better. That's
because they've been backed into a corner by X-Wing and War Machine.
And I admire the fact that they recognized it.
Yes,
that's not something.
They were doomed otherwise. They had to take this approach.
Sure, but
they were clearly on a downward slope.
The number of times gaming companies have failed to recognize that over the years.
Yes. Looking at you, Fossa.
Ooh.
Well, to be fair, as I understand it, Fossa was largely killed by massive internal embezzlement.
Yeah. But at any rate, so we both respect them for what they're doing. assuming that they actually keep moving forward with it. I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Well, I from what I can tell, the guys who thought up the whole and were convinced that they could make Age of Sigmar work the way they wanted to, and damn what the people said they wanted, were largely sacked or moved out of positions of power.
Okay,
And this new crew seems much more interested in actually listening to people.
sure, and I'll believe that they'll stay in power when I see it.
I'll believe they'll stay in power. I have every faith that they will remain in power for exactly as long as their strategy works.
All I'm saying is I've watched GW go through cycles of stuff like this before, and
Yep,
I'm
absolutely. As soon as they're back on top, they'll probably return back to their
yep, that's my take.
their stagnation.
Yep.
They'll start loving Papa Nurgle too much again.
At any rate, so I think that's going to do our discussion of GW for the show. Let's see. Arrgh. So,
So yeah, to answer your question, no, there is no chance GW will ever get us back.
probably not. Yeah, and I've been lax, not looking at the chat for a little while, so I'm gonna go back and double check it.
Oh yeah, I should do that too. Hey, it's Gav.
Yep, Gav's there. Yeah. So let's see, a few points.
Seriously, Space Wolves use 3 separate books. What kind of fuck you, Space Wolves? How dare you take power armored friggin' space Vikings and make them so egregious?
At any rate, talking about explaining GW. Of course, you're here. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's. I don't know.
I could for GW to win me back, they were required to do exactly everything right forever, and they won't. I have been burned too many times.
Yep.
This Tina Turner is no longer going back to Ike.
Yeah.
Which is largely how I've described my relationship with GW, honestly.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, I honestly, I'm unlikely to get back into miniatures wargaming anytime soon, anyways. So
yeah, which is a little bit of a shame. I really enjoyed our War Machine games.
I did. I just don't. I basically would need to. I mean, I don't have space in my apartment for painting and such. I just don't have. It's. That's a big problem.
Yeah. No, I totally grok.
So yeah, I like War Machine. I still like War Machine a lot. I've read. I keep tabs on it, but yeah, Blood Bowl. As much as I conceptually love Blood Bowl, I'm done with that game.
I might pick up the box. Still a little leery of it. Mainly because, holy crap, those models are gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
like the new models are leaps and bounds above what they used to be.
But yeah, there'd have to be a fundamental change in the mechanics of Blood Bowl for me to actually get back into it. Just the sheer I think I've repeated on more than a few occasions expressed my frustration and irritation with just the sheer, oh, you failed the die roll, your turn ends rule.
No, that I totally understand.
That is.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain die rolls I could see failing ending your turn, but like any die roll failing, it's just like I get what they're trying to do, but oh god, it just makes the game it just sucks all the fun out of the game.
No, I totally understand that. I don't think I've ever actually played Blood Bowl entirely sober. So
Oh, I have. I've played a lot of Blood Bowl sober. I don't play tabletop war games not sober, but that's just me. I don't do many things not sober, so I don't really get drunk very often. It's not something I don't actually enjoy it.
I went to art school. It's kind of required.
Like, yeah. So, I guess, I mean, we got a little bit of time left, so I figured, what else have you been up to recently, Eric? I figured I might as well, do a little bit of,
Well, thanks to you, I've been playing a lot more friggin' SWOTOR, and that I've been playing SWOTOR at all.
you've been playing more than I have, despite the fact I got back into it recently.
Yeah, like
Well, I admit part of that's because I was playing SWTOR to refresh my brain for the Star Wars campaign RPG game I'm running, and then I
yeah.
fell back into Skyrim.
Yeah, no, it's no, I that's a game I really enjoy in like big bursts.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably in about a week or two I'm gonna get utterly sick of it and not pick it up for another year.
SWTOR, yeah, I can see that.
Like, and in the meantime, I'm stabbing things with lightsabers, shooting bad guys or good guys, or shooting space guys with blasters, that kind of shit.
Right.
Trying out a whole bunch of different things. Wow, the trooper armor looks really badass now. It used to look like shit.
Cool.
And, yeah, just fucking around, trying that stuff out. Almost resubbed, and then I caught myself.
Yep. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars, not Star Wars, Skyrim of the past week or so.
Mm.
I actually started I started on like Wednesday last week. I just had this inspiration to try something out. I was fucking around and finally got the alternate start Live Another Life mod for working for the special edition, which is allows you to start the game off in a different way, not with the normal Skyrim start. And there are a bunch of different things, like I like the default start is I was caught sneaking across the Imperials caught me trying to sort of sneaking across the border into Skyrim, and I've been arrested. That's the default start.
Right.
But there are a bunch of I am a bandit. I was shipwrecked. I'm a vampire in this cave here. Yes, you can start out as
cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. It's a neat little mod, and I've had this inspiration to play a vampire destruction mage. Figured I'd try it out. And because I've fiddled with destruction mages before, never really got very far into them, and I've never actually played as a vampire in Skyrim before, and so I decided to do that this time. And being a vampire is interesting. You take a penalty to all three of your stats, magicka, health, and stamina during daylight hours. And none of those stats have your base regeneration. All those stats doesn't work.
Huh.
Daylight runs from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
But if you're indoors or it's nighttime, you get your stats go back to normal and you get the regen. The penalty to the stats is crippling at low levels.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But once you've bought the relevant stats up, it's not that big a problem. The penalty isn't the problem. It's the lack of passive regen means you can do one fight and then you're like sucking on potions, and yeah.
Yeah. No,
but
I can imagine.
Being the vampire, also you get this cycle thing where you, as a vampire, every day you don't feed, you become more hungry for blood. And when you get to a certain, and you get more powerful, you get more cool powers, but you get more supposedly you get more negative reactions to you because eventually you become a blood-starved vampire, and everyone goes, "Oh God, it's a vampire." In theory,
right?
So
you could just eat everybody.
Well, feeding only works on. You can feed on people who are asleep or are, for various reasons, completely non-hostile to you.
So you can't just kill people and then eat them?
No, that's the werewolf thing.
This is much more difficult because clearly the werewolf is the superior choice.
It's different. vampires get a lot more bonuses when they're not, because they don't. The werewolf, all the werewolf bonuses come. Most of the werewolf bonuses come when you're in werewolf form, outside of being immune to diseases. Both vampires and
Right.
werewolves get that. Vampires get more other bonuses. They get resistance to poison, to cold. They get a big penalty to fire resistance. Um, they take 40% extra damage from fire.
Ouch. Ow. Yeah.
As a random aside, so the character I'm playing, I actually made a dark elf vampire. Turns out dark elves get a 50% resistance to fire.
Oh, that works out nicely.
Yes, that may or may not be the reason I picked it. Um, Also, they get also, since I was playing a destruction mage, dark elves get an inherent bonus to destruction. So, which helps because destruction fucking sucks in base Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! Like, it's fine early levels, but I'm already seeing it level flatten out, and it's just it's like one of those slowest leveling skills in the game
Mm.
for reasons. It gets the fewest bonuses to your, like, almost all the weapons and such have multiple things that increase your damage or give you cool tricks and such. You don't get much of that in with you get very little of that with destruction. You get 2 perks per element type basically that will increase your damage, and that's it. Also, you get the dual casting, which is makes you do more damage, but it's really inefficient mana wise. And the one thing is you get the if you're casting impact spells, the stagger perk if you're dual casting makes that actually semi viable, but that's about it.
Right. Yeah, I've never really in any Elder Scrolls game, and I like the Elder Scrolls games on the whole, except for Oblivion. Like I've never really done anything with magic beyond to keep myself standing so I can continue hitting them with whatever weapon I'm using at the time.
Yep. Well, I mean, I like playing mages in games a lot, so I always like trying experimenting with magic in most RPGs I play. Uh, and yeah. So I'm still enjoying the playthrough. I'm having fun with it. It's interesting. It's different, but I'm seeing the beginnings of the, oh god, why am I a destruction mage?
Yeah, and
uh,
I can see advantages to everything but destruction when you have the clear
oh
and
oh
obvious just hit it with a stick option.
the every other all the other schools of magic are really good in Skyrim. Like
Yeah,
they have really good stuff in them. Destruction has, I can do damage, but not as well as someone not as well as a stealth archer or someone who goes all out with weapons.
yeah,
Oh well, what if I was a stealth? What like the one thought is, well, okay, stealth archers get bonuses, so what if I was a stealth mage? Nope, you don't get sneak attack damage with magic.
really?
Nope,
I assumed you would.
nope.
Huh?
That's the if you got sneak attack like you. The part of the problem is that when you start casting, it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, it
Now
makes a lot
there's
of
a illusion perk that makes your spell casting silent,
cool
but you still don't get sneak attack damage because I don't know why.
because fuck you. That's why.
Basically, I don't get that. Like that would be like that's the single most. That would be the single most like. It would be it wouldn't be enough of a fix, honestly. Let's be honest here. I mean, it would turn magic into the same problem archery has in base. Yeah, sneak attack damage has never been a thing for magic and Elder Scrolls. Beck in the chat's right. It's never
Yeah.
been there. I mean, but that's the thing is
Not
it's
that I
like,
really invested in sneak attack either. When I had the option to strap on some heavy armor, charge something, and beat it with a sword, axe, or club.
oh sure, I've done that. But I also, I've played a bunch of different types of. I mean, I've done, straight up tank warrior type stuff. I've
Yep.
done stealth archer. I've done stealth melee, and I'm trying out destruction mage.
Yeah,
And
I've done the stealth melee in Morrowind, but in my old age, I've quickly lost the patience for such shenanigans.
right.
When I have the option to just put on some heavy armor and hit it till it stops moving. Like,
Uh,
it's really cool. It's awesome to be able to do that shit, and I totally see the appeal of it. It's just not for me anymore.
And that's fine. I honestly wish archery was actually viable outside of being a stealth archer in Skyrim.
Yeah, the
Because
stealth archer seems to be the only thing because I've tried some archery, not stealth archery, mostly as a way to back up the I can't hit this guy. He's way over there, and I can't run up and hit him because he's on a ledge or there are a bunch of crisscrossing things over there, and it's just gonna I can't be asked to do it the easy way. So I'll pull out my bow and I'll shoot him, and this isn't very good.
if you go, I mean, even if you go whole hog into archery and but don't take the stealth bonuses, you need the sneak attack multipliers for archery
Yeah,
in Skyrim. It's a shame. Beck's also right. The crossbows you get from Dawnguard make running on archery a lot better. It's true.
that's true. Yeah, I had less issues with the crossbow, but I couldn't make a dragonbone crossbow, but I could make a dragonbone bow because I had that mod. So I was like, but this isn't made out of the bones of my slain enemies. I don't care about this.
Oh God, I wish I liked the way the dragonbone weapons looked. I
I
hate
really
most.
dig the heavy dragonbone armor.
You do? That's like the worst looking armor in the game to me. Like by like a large amount.
It's better than the friggin' like ridiculous too many spines. I wish I was a Chaos Lord, but I can't be asked to be that cool. Daedric armor.
Well, I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of the Daedric armor either, but it's. I just think the dragonbone armor just looks awful to me.
I dig the dragonbone armor.
Fair enough.
The honestly, the bended iron armor is the coolest looking armor in the game.
I like the carved Nordic and the ebony armor a lot. Also,
Oh right, I forgot about the carved Nordic. That shit's really cool.
I think the car of the heavy armors. I think of all the armors, the carved Nordic's probably my favorite.
Yeah, the carved Nordic is pretty damn awesome looking.
I like the ebony armor, although it does make me think it makes me look like I'm a Final Fantasy villain. Uh, I wish the light armor outside the leather stuff looked better.
Yeah, like I dig the studded leather sort of like very barbarian look, and the scale armor is pretty cool. But beyond that, yeah,
Like the elf armor looks is okay, except for but the glass armor looks awful in my opinion.
yeah, I've always hated the look of glass armor. Like no
Actually,
matter
the
whatever.
the dragon leather, the dragon leather is not terrible. It's just not good either.
The companion armor is also pretty awesome in Skyrim. I like the long fur kilt you wear.
It's all right. Yeah, the Daedric armor is better looking than it was in Oblivion, Beck.
You
Yeah, I
just
would agree with
replace the
that.
helmet with the horn steel helmet, and you're done.
Yeah, but yeah, I found when I was my last playthrough, I was playing my previous playthrough, I was playing a sword and board warrior. I actually got my all the way up to max smithing and had a suit of dragonbone armor, and eventually said, well, my smithing's high enough that with boosts and such, I can boost any armor type up to basically within like right in the same ballpark in armor level as dragonbone armor. And I'm
Hmm.
like, all right, carved Nordic, here we go. Poof. Dragonbone back in the chest. I don't give a flying fuck about you. You're not enough better now that to make up for the fact that I think the carved Nordic just looks way fucking better.
It is pretty awesome looking.
Although I do think the helmet looks good, is all right for the dragonbone armor.
The helmet is definitely the best part. I'll agree with that.
The silly bones hanging off it randomly for no good reason, just like, is one of those like they don't serve any practical purpose other than I've got the bones of my enemies dangling off. I'm like, but
I'm not gonna lie, that's a big appeal for me.
I know I'm aware. I guessed. But yeah, the carved Nordic I like a lot. I actually do like the obsidian the ebony armor. It's just as I said, you look like a Final Fantasy villain.
Right, right. It's funny that you can say that, and everyone will instantly know what you mean.
Like I
Because
swear to God, I swear to God, look, I'm like, wow. I like. Should I make a character name him Garland? I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, it's just. Oh my God. But yeah, despite all of Skyrim's many flaws, and it's got a bunch. I still love the game.
Yeah, I really enjoy Skyrim. It's probably my favorite Elder Scrolls game, and part of that is because Vikings.
Well, I said this while I was streaming it. For me, I think Skyrim is. I enjoy Skyrim just for the ability to randomly wander around and do shit,
Yes.
and I like the feel of how the game plays in a lot of ways,
Yes.
despite the flaws in gameplay, because there are some. Uh, that said, the writing in Skyrim is nowhere near as good as the writing in Morrowind.
No, no. Morrowind has clearly had the good writers involved.
And
Um,
Morrowind has a bunch of really cool sort of nuanced, like the nuances that you can do for character design. It appeals to me. It appeals to the crunchy tabletop RPGer in me,
right, right.
but it's not as approachable as Skyrim, shall we say?
No, not in the least.
But and then there's Oblivion, which is a middle point between the two, and is completely dissatisfying to me in every way because of that.
Same here. Exactly the same. I did not like Oblivion very much at all. It's just
I get why people like Oblivion. There are people who love Oblivion and say it's their favorite Elder Scrolls game, and I totally get it.
yeah, I grok that. I understand. Like for the same reason that I understand why people like Bob Dylan.
Right. Oh my god. All right. I think that's going to do it for this week, though.
Okay, dokie.
All right. So yeah. Anyways, thank you to everybody for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it. Hope you found something either entertaining or useful in what we've been blathering on about for the past hour or so. Normally we
Probably
save time
not.
at the end of normally save time at the end of each episode for viewer questions. We didn't get any this week, but if you do have questions you'd like us to answer in the show, please do email us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com, or you can post them at the comment section of the video, which we upload to YouTube. Hello, YouTube people.
Hello, YouTube.
If you're listening to us on YouTube, thanks for listening to us on YouTube. If you hit like and subscribe, you'll know when new episodes go live. We record the show live on hitbox.tv/mecha-gm. We record on Monday nights, starting at about 7 p.m. Eastern. Most Monday nights, we're recording either this or the 3 Men in an Anime podcast that we do with our friend Gav.
Yep.
Basically, most Monday nights at about this time, we'll be recording the show. We're recording one of these two podcasts. I tweet out when the show is going to go live. My Twitter handle is @MechaGM. So keep an eye on that for updates on when the stream's going live. But yeah, if you've got questions, ask them and feel like asking them in the question section on YouTube. Feel free. I do keep an eye out for your questions there. If you've got show topic suggestions, we love those. Oh my God, do we love those?
Yeah. Holy
Please
shit, we love those.
email them to us. That way, either email us comments, what have you. That way we have record of them and we can do them. It means we can talk about what you guys want to hear us talk about. That's always nice. Also, it means that we don't sort of go, oh fuck, what the hell are we going to talk about this week? 5 minutes before we supposed to start recording.
That's always really useful,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, holy shit.
And if you've got feedback for us, ways we can make the show better, constructive criticism, etc., let us know. We love getting that stuff to you guys. It's really helpful.
Absolutely.
And that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you had fun. Thank you to the live audience. We love you guys. You're the best. Next week, I think, is going to be 3 Men in Anime. We should be finished with the current show then. The week after that, I will be in North Carolina, so we won't be recording.
I don't believe you.
Well, you can believe me or not, I won't be here, so... Other than that, thank you again, guys, and we will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye, everybody.